Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Side Quest, the Authors and Dragons game things that aren't Authors and Dragons. I mean, it's us, it's the Authors and Dragons, but it's not Authors and Dragons, the game Authors and Dragons. Oh god, this has already gone to shit. Quick. With me today are Robert Bevan, Rick Gualteri, Steve Wetherill.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
It's us. Your friends.
Well, friends is a strong term. And joining us today is a special guest who's going to be running our one-shot game for this episode, Ben Robinson of Geeksploration, the podcast. So, Ben, tell us a little bit about yourself and what we're going to be doing today with the game Everyone is John.
Well, my name is Ben Robinson. I've been playing in various home games with Drew for the last few years, and we're going to be playing Everyone is John. It is a complete shit show of game that I think will fit right in with this crowd. Where basically everyone takes a character being a voice in John's head. John is a completely incompetent and thoroughly unstable individual who is not particularly good at doing anything. The players will take turns trying to get him to do whatever odd bits and pieces they've set out for him to do.
Incompetent and unstable. This is already very much in our wheelhouse.
Let's see. It should be noted we all have our own objectives within this. We are all our own voices with our own intentions and ambitions and goals that we are working toward, but we do not know what they are, and they might be in direct conflict to other members of this. They might be very synergistic. We truly have no way of knowing, and it is just a wild struggle for control.
Yeah, so the game is competitive, so there is scoring. So each of you should have picked 3 obsessions, they're called, at different levels. Your level 1 will be something basic that maybe would take a roll or so to resolve, like shoplift candy. Level 2 might be something a little bit more daring that takes a little bit more lining up, like stealing a police car. And then level 3 should be, something you're working towards the whole game that is rather difficult, maybe assassinating the president, something along those lines. It doesn't have to be quite that grandiose, but it should be something that takes multiple steps and or kind of setting up to get to. Just for a little bit of a rules course here, essentially, at the beginning of the game, we'll start. And you guys will what's called bid for control. So each of you has 10 points of willpower. And everyone will put in a secret bid to me how much they're willing to spend to take control of John. Whoever has the highest bid will get control. They pay that amount. Everyone else, you keep your willpower. You only pay if you win. At that point, you try and get John to do something. And like I said, he's not good at doing anything, so you will have to roll the dice to see if he succeeds. He succeeds normally on a 6 and only a 6. You can augment that by using skills. So each of you should have 2 skills. They're broad things like dancing, fighting, that kind of thing. And if you're trying to get him to do something that involves one of your skills, you succeed at a 3 or higher. And you can also spend willpower points to buy down the DC, essentially. And if you fail, control moves on. We bid for control again. You can win control more than once if you'd like. And then if John is, if he's unconscious or if he loses his attention span, if you got him on a long bus ride where nothing's happening, anything where there's not action happening all the time, he's easily distracted. We will bid for control again.
Okay, one thing I'm not clear on. Our secret obsessions and skill set, do we make them known to you, the DM, before we begin?
Yes, I can see your character sheet because I'm going to be awarding you the points.
Ah, right.
Put them in your character sheet. You guys shouldn't be able to see each other's character sheets, and if you can, don't look.
And we get willpower back when control changes. Is that what it is? There was some.
Yeah. So generally everyone gets a willpower back when control changes. So see, it's just 4 of you guys, so that's appropriate. When it was going to be 6, I was going to taper that down because basically the game ends when you run out of willpower or John dies. Usually it's when John dies or goes to jail and otherwise can't do anything. But with 6 people and the game tends to go on forever if you replenish that much. But with 4, yes, every time control shifts, everyone gets 1 willpower back. And I'll go ahead and I'll award you guys the willpower back every time it's appropriate. So I've got the macros set up, so you shouldn't really have to screw with too much management.
So I'm going to say the drinking game for this, for anyone who wants to play one, is drink every time you spend willpower. Drink that many times.
Every time a thing happens, take a shot.
I need to get more.
What is the relationship to John?
It's not the actual John, Bevan.
No,
John
is
a fictional character.
Yeah, everybody is a voice in John's head. So, you could just be some inner demon. Maybe you're his high school gym teacher. Maybe you're his little brother that died in a horrible accident. You could be, ex-girlfriend. Your character's relationship to John. Like, who are you to him? If you're not just a random voice in his head. And then on Rick, so generally, you would choose 2 skills.
Okay,
you can
2
choose
skills.
a third one, but then you'll only start with 7 willpower.
All right.
So
Nope,
you can
that's fine.
sacrifice 3 starting willpower for another skill if you would like.
All right. Nope. I'm going to stay with 2 because I need every advantage I can get.
This is not a game in which we will. Even the winner doesn't really win, and everyone is John. The audience should be winning, I think.
As long as someone's having a good time.
All right.
On the bright side, you guys do have some synergies between your obsessions here.
I thought we might.
Yeah.
It's almost like you guys have been playing a game together for a long time. Your perversions.
I was really a little bit worried that they'd all be the same as mine, but no.
No, I avoided pissing on stuff. I was like, I'm not going to take.
I did too because I thought they'll be expecting that. They'll probably be expecting this too.
Yeah, I had at least one that I was like, there is no way I want this recorded. So.
Yeah. All right. So has everybody filled out their sheets, Ben?
Yes, they have. So, and as just RP wise, so you guys kind of get an idea of how the game flows. I'm going to be voicing John, the actual John, and kind of describing things that occur in the world. What I want you guys to do is you play your voice. When you have control of John, you can speak directly to him. If you don't have control of John, you can still chime in all you want, but you don't actually have any influence over his actions. You could influence the voice that is influencing him, though, possibly. And then when you roll, so you'll roll, say you say, hey, I want John to go, punch that cop in the face. And you roll on whether it's a success or a failure. You get to describe what John does and what happens. So,
Okay.
So yeah, that's the kind of how that part of the story progresses. Now you can't, so say your one of your obsessions is to, ride a bus. You can't say, I go up and, John clocks the cop right in the face and a bus pulls up, So you limit it to the whatever is occurring. But if you fail, feel free to describe how John fails in whatever spectacular fashion you would like, because he will fail a lot. And then so I'll just kind of describe, like, John walks down the street. This is what he sees. That you tell him to do something. He kind of says something back to you. But you guys, with your successes and failures, will describe how they succeed and how they fail.
All right.
Okay.
Let's rock.
Spectacular failure. Let's go.
All right. So our story opens. John kind of is laying on the floor. He wipes his eyes and kind of looks around and kind of waits for a second for the world to get less blurry. Wow, where am I? And then there's a, pounding on the door. He looks around. He's in a bathroom of some variety, some single occupancy bathroom, and someone's pounding on the door. Hey, get out of there, buddy! Hey, get out! What are you doing in there? Just a minute. and bid for control. All right, there we go. And control goes to Steve. So Steve, who is your voice? So everyone at home knows who you are.
My voice is David. Do I explain my relationship to Jonathan, or do I let people work that out?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Nope. You can explain it if you'd like.
Well, John once went to Burning Man, and while he was there, he took a particularly bad tab of acid, and he can't remember the next 3 days. But for the next 3 days, he was David, and David had some particular concerns when he was at Burning Man, and he's kind of been living in John's subconscious ever since. So that's who David is. So now that I have control of John, and we're in a single occupancy bathroom, and somebody wants to
single occupancy bathroom, when somebody is pounding on the door, insisting that you let them in.
Well, I'd like to say to John, you should probably take your clothes off, because they're gonna want to know why you're in this bathroom and why you don't want to let them in. So if you're naked, then that's a reasonable reason for them not to come in.
Aye, that's a good choice, laddie.
Let them in. I like the voice.
We gotta get to the park, John.
All right, roll. Go ahead and roll that as a skilled check.
To undress. That's you, Steve.
Okay. That's terrible.
Well, one is, a one will not, won't quite do it. I was like, no, I don't. That doesn't seem like a good idea. He sounds kind of angry. I don't think that would help.
I think angry people, get less angry when nudity is involved.
All right, and since he failed, go ahead and bid for control again. All right. And so, Steve, just so you guys understand how the bidding works, you have 2 willpower now, because you bid 5 on the last one, and you got it. So, and you had started with 7. So,
but doesn't he get 1 back for control changing, or does that not count when you're the one who loses it?
Yes, he will. But it looked like he had subtracted 1 from it, so just wanted to make sure he understood how that worked. All right, Robert.
All right.
Let's see where you're going with this.
Is there a window in this bathroom?
There is not a window in this bathroom. It is just a large, filthy, single occupancy bathroom with an angry man at the door.
All right, John. It would have been fun to just let this guy piss on the floor outside, but our concern is getting to the park. Open the door.
All right, yeah. So, I don't think we even roll for that. You go over and he unlocks the door, and it just immediately bursts in, and a guy just runs right past you, drops his pants, just sits on the toilet, and just starts shoving one out.
All right. Well, maybe the park can wait. Let's pull your dick out, John.
See, John, if you'd listened to me, you would have already had your dick out.
We can rub one out right here.
The end result is what matters, boyo.
I like the look of his jaw.
All right, go ahead and let's see. I'm gonna give you that as a skill. I'll give you a skill check for that.
Of course you will.
All right, now I can put points that I haven't used for my bid toward this.
So your bid, you're at 3.
Yeah.
You got 3 willpower right now because you bid 7. So.
All right.
But he could use some of those to lower his DC, right?
He absolutely could, yeah.
All right. Well, I'm not going to do that because I just need a 4 or above.
3 or higher.
3 or higher. All right. John, you got this. All right.
Oh, yeah. He adeptly reaches into his pants. Well, actually, I'll let you describe what he does.
Adeptly.
John.
Adeptly. Oh, God.
All right. John pulls his dick out and rubs one out in front of the shitting guy.
What the fuck are you doing?
He gets angry
Just-
and he
just-
opens his mouth wide.
Just stop talking for a second. I'm almost finished.
That's right. Think of those animals, John. Think of those animals, Johnny boy.
You see, John, if you'd merely been nude, he wouldn't nearly be this angry.
Don't worry, John. He's not. He's
Make him angrier,
he's got a
John.
big shit coming out. He's not getting up.
Oh, I want that mouth open wider.
Finish what you started, John.
The large man on the toilet starts swinging and reaching for John, but he can't quite reach him without getting up off the toilet. Roll me I'll give you another skilled check to see if you can finish.
That is my skill. All right. Here it goes. Oh no,
Oh,
John. What happened? This never happened to you as a kid.
So yeah. So John's he's just sitting there feverishly beating on his limp, uncompliant penis, and it's not working. This is not. And he kind of gets a look of embarrassment on his face, and turns and runs out of the bathroom into what appears to be a Waffle House. And I'm gonna roll just a simple 1d6 here to see if he remembered to put his dick back in his pants.
Grab some syrup, John.
No, he didn't. So he
Alrighty.
runs into the Waffle House, dick a bobbin, to about a dozen patrons, all kind of staring at him and bid for control.
This is what you want, John. An audience.
Nudity's perfectly natural, John. Don't worry about it.
No, Johnny boy, you need a better audience.
I don't know. They're all looking at me, and I don't like this. All right, Rick, it's yours.
oh, damn.
Don't listen to the rest of them, Johnny boy. You remember me, don't you? McDougal. I was with you when you visited that petting zoo back when you were 7. Oh, those wee sheepies were looking at you. Oh, yes. The eyes on them baby goats. Oh. You've been wanting to get back.
We did have a really good time.
Yeah.
They
You've
were,
been
they
wanting
were
to get
so
back
soft.
there ever since.
So soft.
I'll tell you what, Johnny boy. Let these people know what you're about. Baa like a sheep to them.
This is really
Baa, I said.
All right, go ahead and roll an unskilled check.
Actually, I think that's a skill check.
Oh yeah, no, actually, yeah, you're right. That would be a skilled check.
Of course.
They're all too far away. I don't like this.
So John just kind of stands there, and everyone just kind of drops their forks and stares at him. And you see one of the ladies behind the counter pick up the phone and start calling, presumably the police.
I'm disappointed in you, Johnny boy.
I'm sorry. They never sounded like they were having that much fun.
Get out of here, McDougal. There's only room for one Irish pedophile in its head.
That may be true, but I'm Scottish, you bloody kid.
Bid for control.
Oh, okay.
No, you failed. You're not in control.
Yeah, I thought.
Wait, I saw him get a 6.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Oh God, you're right. Sorry, I read that backwards. No,
I thought you were
definitely
just
still in
doing a really shitty ba.
Yeah.
Ah! Scream it, Johnny boy, scream it! Ah! That's the mating call they like. Now get the hell out of here and go find them.
Yeah.
We ain't putting your willy in a kebab.
Well, not yet.
All right, so John kind of bursts out the door, still bawling, "Bah! Bah!" as he runs into the street. You seem to be in a small town, perhaps. It doesn't look terribly busy. There's a few cars driving down the road. There is an old lady, and being helped out of her car by what you presume is her son.
Johnny boy, look at that old lady. Look when she's walking. She's walking a little Shih Tzu there.
Look at her son.
And all that is, that's just a wee sheepy, not full grown yet. Why don't you go and grab it from her and start running? Get somewhere nice and quiet.
Sizes are wrong. Not good.
So wait, what do you want John to do?
I want her to steal her. I want him to steal the old lady's dog and make a run for it.
I think it's her son, not a dog, isn't it?
What the hell? She has a dog.
Oh, all right.
He's
Wait,
stealing
wait,
something
wait.
he thinks is a dog.
How old is the son though?
Dog, son, who cares?
No, he's an adult son. She's an old lady.
Ah, screw it. Take the dog and run for it, boy. I saw an alley up ahead.
All right.
That'll do it.
That would be an unskilled check.
All right.
Dog napping is not one of Rick's skills. I'm surprised.
Nope, that's only a 3. You bloody bastard!
Oh yeah.
You now shake the damn dog loose from your hand. It's biting into you, you bloody fool. That's not what you're supposed to put into it.
Oh god! Oh, fucking thing, baby! Stupid old lady. The lady's son doesn't seem terribly happy with you trying to steal his dog, and he's like, "Hey, what the hell?" And he gives John a good shove, and he falls right down on his ass. And kind of scoots back as the guy looks like he wants to maybe do some more punching at you, and bid for control.
You can take it, John.
Now, Johnny, you know the best defense against an offense is nudity.
All right, so Robert, you've only got
Oh,
you've got 6 right now.
all
is
right.
your-
I
is
thought
your
it
max.
restarted every time.
No, it does not. You get 1 back every time control shifts.
Ah, right. Sorry.
So there's
Let me try that again.
Yeah, so there's a little bit. Yeah, there's a bit of an economy to it.
That's how you keep a good rotation of who gets control. Is as you spend them, other people can spend theirs to swing in.
Yep. All right, Robert, back to you, and you're down to good old 0 willpower. So hopefully you roll well.
All right. Let's see. I never introduced myself. This is Father O'Malley, the priest that molested him as a kid.
Jesus.
Of course it is.
Just strolling right on in.
Yeah.
All right.
Topical.
John, we gotta get to that park, but since our dick is already out, and we kind of like guys kicking us while we're down. Let's just go for it. Finish what you started, John.
I don't know.
Is this a skilled check?
Are you so finishing? Are you trying to steal the dog?
No, I'm trying to whack off in front of these people.
His dick is still out.
Look at the
what you
dog,
wanna
Johnny.
finish? Okay.
Look at the dog. You can do it.
Look at the angry mouth, Johnny.
Yeah, that would be a skill check.
That's. Wait a second. Will spend. All right, so will spend. I got 0.
It would be 0 because you don't have any.
Right. Okay. I got a 3.
That's enough.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah.
Hooray!
Yeah, skilled checks. All right. So he just. I'll let you describe how well he does it, but
All right.
You got 10 minutes.
Splooges all over the dog, and then I don't know. That's pretty much it. And
God, there was no build up there, Bevan. There was no tension.
Well,
You're
he
a
built it up in the bathroom.
Yeah.
don't you write about people jerking off for a
It
living?
is sort of funny that basically this guy shoved a dude down, and that guy's response was to immediately orgasm.
What's wrong with you, Johnny boy? You know on is not as good as in.
We all have reasons to be disappointed here. Let's be fair.
Get closer.
And the guy's like, "What the?" Whoa? And he just kind of hurriedly rushes his grandmother and her dog away.
Oh, that was
Not as interested in touching you any longer.
disappointing. I was hoping to use my other skill. Oh well.
You idiots keep
Um,
I mean, you still can.
Well,
You
yeah,
do still have control.
May have to elicit it.
Instead, we gotta get to that park, John.
John, you know there's a pet store on the way.
We're local to here, right? Do I know where the park is?
No, he has no idea where he is. He has no idea where he is or how he got there.
Oh, right, okay.
John, we need to go somewhere quiet to get our head together, man.
Well, while the guy's shoving his grandmother shoving his mother into the car or whatever, say, hey, ask this guy if he knows where the park is. Nearest park.
Hey, where's the nearest park? Go fuck yourself.
All right,
Slams the door.
Get him, John. Beat the information out of him. He'll talk.
When you say beat,
All right.
However, whatever it takes.
All right. Go ahead and roll an unskilled check to
Unskilled?
beat the information out of
Yeah,
him.
all right.
Oh.
John rolls a
No.
4,
No.
or I roll. Father O'Malley rolls a 4.
Oh, you're bleeding Nancy.
So John goes to like run in to chase after him, and the guy's like holding the Waffle House door closed. He's just like tugging on it and screaming. And you hear off in the distance what sounds an awful lot like police sirens.
This is a little far-fetched. Nobody in the Waffle House thinks this is inappropriate behavior.
it's just a Friday night at the Waffle House.
Yeah.
Dick out, sheep bleeding? Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, it's not particularly unusual, but I think they'd still call the police. I think that's in the Waffle House handbook.
Yeah, it's like, hey, that dog is covered in spooge. Yeah, what else is new?
All right, so bid for control.
All right, did I get my 1 back?
Yes, you have 1 back. Yeah,
Woohoo.
yep, I just applied it.
All right, guys, don't bid higher than 1.
I'm telling you, Johnny, you need to go in there and convince him. Dog bukkake.
All right, Drew.
If I didn't convince him, you won't.
Okay, so the situation is there's a dude who's trying to hold the Waffle House door shut.
Yes, as John is feverishly, where's the park? Where's the park?
And the dude with the grandma has already left.
No, it's the dude with the grandma holding the door shut.
Gotcha. Okay. I thought he was going into a car.
No, he's going into the Waffle House.
Gotcha. All right. Then I will attempt to. I'll do a fake out. I will do like a turn away, and then immediately swing back, jerk it open, and grab him by the jaw.
All right, go ahead and
Oh shit!
let me check your skills here.
I believe skilled.
When Drew takes control, he takes control.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'll let you roll a skill on that.
It keeps opening so wide. I have to find out. When I punch skill check, is it going to give me the option to sink some willpower in to lower a DC?
Yes. Yeah. But don't bother doing more than 2 because
Right.
that would be a guaranteed success. 5 is greater than 1, so you are you succeed.
All right, I do exactly that. John turns away, and then as soon as the guy like relaxes, John swings back, jerks the door open, and just grabs him, sinking his fingers into his jaw, and then gently, lovingly, running a thumb along the front of his teeth. Oh, smooth. Oh, smooth. Oh.
You know what those remind you of, Johnny boy? Cow teeth.
They're so white. You are a daily brusher.
He shoves John as hard as he can away from him.
I would like to use. I still have control since I succeeded. I would like to go ahead and try and turn that into a counter, so that I can kind of lock his arm and get his face, let's say, very close to John's.
Yeah. Yeah, go for it, and you've got a skill that helps you with that. So
What did I tell you about using your teeth, John?
It's always better to slip it in when they ain't got no teeth, boy.
Oh, and that one.
No. Yeah, he gives you a good hard shove, and John's not that good at very many things, so he just kind of stumbles back and falls onto the ground, and the guy slams the door, and the police sirens have gotten rather loud.
In his failing, John does cackle madly, still rubbing his own thumb where he had touched the molars and bicuspids and whatnot. And if I have enough influence, I will say he's definitely getting hard again.
Well, that's reassuring.
And everyone can see. Yeah, no, so John's just on the ground. He kind of just slowly takes his thumb and sticks it into his mouth and licks it a little bit. And he's like, oh, God, I got to get out of here, man. We can't stay here. And bid for control.
The cops don't know where the park is.
All right, Rick and Steve, each of you roll me a d6.
Oh, I think I'm losing that one.
Steve rolls a 4.
All right, Steve, he's all yours.
Okay, John, we've not been very cool here, and people are freaking out, and I think we know what to do in that situation. We've just got to kind of move out of their space. I think we should duck into that alleyway over there. I think that'd be a good move, John.
Yeah, no, yeah. We need to get out of here.
I agree. There might be some rats in there. Oh, they're nice and tight.
So
Buck teeth.
So John runs out across down across the street and runs into an alley, where there's a couple large dumpsters on either side, and it kind of goes out to another street on the far side.
Boy, imagine if we were doing some weird, like, voodoo doll shit on John at Dragon Con right now.
Oh, I hope so.
Like, what's happening to me?
Like he needs our help.
He's like, oh, so we did possess you with magic. And John's like, no, I knew what I was doing.
Okay, I'm going to... John, I'm not going to lie to you, man. I think that we made those people angry, and I think they're going to come from us. So we need to kind of get them off the scent. And they're looking for a guy with his dick out in a set of clothes. And I think we can throw them off the scent pretty quickly if we just take them clothes off, John.
Oh, I
take them
concur,
clothes off.
laddie.
Yeah. Okay. I guess there's some logic to that.
Sweet freedom, feel the breeze, boy.
And roll a skilled check.
Ooh, got a 3. So I make the skill check.
So yeah, Yep.
Doesn't that feel better, John? Doesn't that feel more natural?
Nice.
Don't we
No, it does. It does. Yeah.
feel a bit more
I like the
closer to
breeze.
the world?
Oh.
Yeah. Bit more, just natural. Okay. Now you see that?
Yeah.
You see that pile of pallets over there? I want you to build it into the shape of a man, John. I want you to build me a wooden man.
Okay.
Forget the teeth. Big.
We can.
Strong.
Go ahead and roll a skill check to see if he can put together. He kind of walks over to it and starts picking up pallets and pushing them together. About this time, you hear this, some tires screech and some sirens out from the front of the Waffle House, but you can't see what's going on.
Don't worry about that, John. We're just a naked dude in an alley building a wooden man.
Oh, I guess I should have mentioned, my voice is named Oren, and he's not related to any specific person in John's life, but one time, John OD'd on nitrous oxide at a haunted house, and Oren's been along for the ride ever since.
That's fascinating, Oren. You're not in charge. Shut the fuck up.
I know, but I forgot to do this for the audience.
I know, I'm just being a dick.
There was a lot of drug abuse after the molestation.
That's understandable.
It was all downhill after there.
But John, I think we're feeling a lot better because we're nude, we're one with our environment, and we have built a pretty fucking decent giant wooden man in this alleyway.
Yeah.
And isn't that what life's all about, John?
Yeah, it actually
Okay,
looks
excellent.
looks like a guy. Yeah, no, that's pretty good. Maybe they'll think that that's the guy that was me. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe, John. But now we just need to move really quietly, and I think we need to find someone who's going to appreciate this giant wooden man with us.
Someone who knows where the park is.
I think stalk is a harsh word. You know, it's got some harsh connotations. But we need to stalk a little bit, John. We need to stalk and just find someone who could
Are
appreciate
you trying to
this
Nick
with us.
Cage in Wicker Man somebody?
Shh.
So John looks around. There sounds like there's a bit of a commotion coming from the direction of the Waffle House. There is the other direction. There is another street. It doesn't seem terribly busy, but you do occasionally see, you've seen people walking by and cars driving by and such.
Johnny boy, just remember what comes with cops. Canine units. Don't that sound tasty?
Do we see any cyclists or rollerbladers?
I mean, one of them would be perfect.
Yeah, about that time, yeah. There's a like an 11-year-old on a bicycle riding by on the other side of the alley.
That kid knows where the park is, or he'll just do.
This is not ending well.
You sick fook, he only has 2 legs.
John, just it occurs to me, this kid's kind of young. He might not understand why you're nude. He might not understand the giant wooden statue. But I think we can persuade him. I think, kids are naturally curious. Let's just say, hey kid, you need to help me. My cat's stuck in this wooden man.
Yeah, kids never appreciate art. Oh yeah, all right. Go ahead and roll a skill check to see if you can persuade that child to come help you with your kitty cat. Hey, little boy, come here. My cat, it's stuck over here. I need your help.
They're too small.
Oh yeah.
That's fair.
And this is a smart kid. Yeah, with a 1, yeah, he's fucking gone.
All right, ask him where the park is, John.
Where is the park? And about that time, you see a policeman round the corner and shout at you. Hey, you! What do you? Stay right there! And he starts running towards you. And bid for control. Give everyone their point back.
It's a terrible place to take control.
All right, Rick.
All right, Johnny boy. Listen up. He's got that shillelagh in his hands. But you got something harder in yours. I want you to run at that cop, and I want you to beat him unconscious, and then I want you to go and find his wee doggy.
Ask him where the park is first.
Come on, man. Club him with your willy.
All right. Go ahead and roll for it. Unskilled check.
Oh, you didn't pick beating people with your dick as a skill?
Christ, Rick.
Amateur.
No foresight.
John, do it. Oh no, it's unskilled.
Yeah. Good thing you spent some points on that. With a 3 and the points you spent, that will succeed.
All right. Keep smacking him in the face. Again. Pretend he's pretend he's a wee ferret and he's laughing at you.
So yeah, John just rushes and tackles him and just starts just pummeling him until he's unconscious.
All right. Now grab his gun, Johnny boy, because that'll be a lot easier, to get us what we need. Oh, and you know what we need.
Yeah.
We need something small and furry, or large and furry. And maybe with teeth to satisfy that other fucker.
It's very benevolent of you, Rick. Looking out for the other voices. That's nice.
All right, so yeah, you're able to. I mean, he's a cop. His gun's not hard to find. John pulls out the gun, kind of looks it over real quick, and kind of stands up. And I guess, which way do you want him to go?
Did I hear? Did you hear any barking coming from behind us, where the cop came from?
He did not hear any barking.
Fine. Run out the other way and start following that child on the bike. I bet he has a puppy dog at home.
And he's certainly headed to the park.
All right, so naked John comes running out to the sidewalk, gun in hand, looks left, looks right. There is, let's see, as he looks left, the kid on the bike he's fucking out of there. You don't see any sign of him, but there are a couple people walking down the street that just kind of stop and look at you. There's a couple of cars driving by, and about 2 blocks down, you see a lady walking a large Labrador.
Horse.
Oh, Labradors are the friendliest animals of them all, boy.
We're still nude, aren't we?
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're stark fucking naked. The gun is the only thing you're wearing.
Here's what you're gonna do, Johnny boy.
Nude with a gun.
We're done waiting, Johnny boy. You're just gonna run, and you're just gonna mount that hound dog and make it howl. And you're gonna howl with it. Come on, howl with me now, Johnny boy.
Oh dear.
So he starts charging at this woman with her dog. Naked guy with a gun. She looks upset and concerned.
Understandable.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and go ahead and roll an unskilled check to see if you are able to insert yourself into her animal.
I can't believe that's unskilled,
Right.
Rick.
You can do this. You can do this, Johnny boy.
Did you choose any skills?
You just missed. That's the wrong hole, you bloody fool.
Well, it smells. The dog lets out a horrific yelp, and the lady just starts whacking on you with her purse and screaming, "Help! Help! This man's attacking my dog!"
No, not attacking.
No,
Loving.
I love your dog. I love your dog. It's great. It's pretty. It's such soft fur.
I didn't see it going exactly this direction, and I don't know how I didn't see it going exactly this direction.
And bid for control.
Now this is a great time to get control.
All right, Robert.
All right.
It's all you.
All right. Which way is the park, lady? Which way is the goddamn park? I'm shoving the gun in her face.
Yeah, you've got a gun. She points, down the street, like the opposite of the way you came. It's over there.
Fantastic.
2 blocks down.
Okay. All right. John, go for the park.
All right. Let's see. Go ahead and give me a roll to see if you can make it to the park.
Is this skilled or unskilled?
No, boy. The poor Fido was loving you.
Going 2 blocks naked with a gun without being accosted.
So is this skilled or unskilled?
I'm gonna stick with unskilled for this one.
Oh, nuts. Oh, no. Natural 1.
All right. So as you're so what happens to John on the way to the park? Nothing good.
Well, John did forget to pull his dick out of the dog.
Oh, God.
He's so absent-minded.
Wait, you failed at that.
I said I got the wrong hole.
Oh, shit. All right. Well,
Well, at least he's not fully nude now.
is this dog on a leash?
Oh yeah.
Well, then,
It's the
all
law.
right, I guess I'm holding the dog in front of me, and how hard is that old lady holding onto her leash?
Pretty hard enough.
Hard enough for the fail.
I guess I dragged her a few steps, and that's why I failed. And
Yeah, fell flat on your face. Like,
yeah.
At least pop the dick out in the list.
I don't know. I mean,
Just trying to figure what sounds that gonna make. It'd be like,
Yeah. So John stumbles forward. He kind of takes a few steps forward, trips over the leash, like takes the lady and the dog down with him, face first into the ground. Like, ah, my dick. He's rolling there, and
Yes.
bit,
But you think
bit for
you're
control.
enjoying a threesome now, Johnny boy?
did it go in deeper? Do I have to like need the jaws of life to get it out of there? Or
No, it popped out.
all right,
It did.
all right.
slid off like
It
a
just,
bottle rocket.
it just bent a good 90 degrees on the way out. So
That'll fix itself, John. Just, next time, take your dick out first. It was a good effort.
Some good advice, John.
You were so close to being home run or run for the park free, and that meddling dog anus again.
Just like in Scooby-Doo.
So bid for control?
yep. Anytime anyone fails. All right, Rick and Steve. Yet again, roll me a d6.
Ooh.
Oop. A 1. That's not gonna do it.
All right, Rick. Back to you.
All right. Before she can leave, straighten that willy out, grab it, and yank it back into position, boyo. It only hurt for a moment.
What? Him or the dog?
Madame Willie is bent at 90 degrees. It's a dick, not a boomerang.
The woman and her dog are running at their absolute top speed in the opposite direction.
Well, Johnny, don't forget, you're a distance runner.
Are they headed toward the park?
Run them down, Johnny. You got more stamina than that old lady. You and that pooch were meant to be together.
Run down those glorious chompers.
All right. So let's see. What do we got as far as skills here? Yeah, go ahead and roll me an unskilled check to chase down the lady and her dog.
You can't do it, Johnny boy, because your balls are swelled up to the size of melons. You're tripping over them.
It hurts.
That's a heck of a fail.
It reminds me of junior high.
All right, a bidding for control then.
And so now John is kind of hobbling down the street, trying to walking bow-legged, so his balls aren't hitting his legs, naked with a gun in his hand.
This is perfectly natural, Johnny boy. This is how God intended us to live.
All right, Steve.
Do I have control?
You do have control.
Excellent. How close are we to this old lady right now?
To the lady with the dog?
Is she made a lot of headway on us now that we're hindered by our swollen bollocks?
Yeah. She's maybe she started running off after you tripped, so she's maybe 40 feet or so ahead of you, and she is moving full speed. You'd have a tough time catching up to her.
Well, Johnny, that's understandable.
And John's been waddling back the way he comes, so you've got kind of a clear. You're coming up on the alley that you come from originally, because you're kind of running back she ran the the direction you'd come from to get away from you, since she thought you might be going to the park and she didn't want to be going anywhere you were going.
You bloody fool! You have a gun on you.
That's right. Yeah, Johnny, we need to. I guess we need to take 5, maybe rest our testicles a bit. So let's move quietly into that alleyway and just rest our testicles near the wooden effigy, and let's just take 5. Let's just take 5 and just really appreciate our situation. Cooling our testicles on the sweet cold concrete.
And it's in a nice cool puddle of something leaking out of the dumpster, but it feels so good. John doesn't care.
Yeah, that's good. Now, John, we're in a tough spot here. I'll give you that. But we've been in a tough spot before. We've been dazed and confused before, and there's always somebody willing to help. So, John, I want you to put the gun behind your back, and I want you to just call for help. Just call for help, John. Somebody will help us.
All right, yeah.
Even better if they come with pets.
So John, yeah, he kind of stashes the gun and roll with advantage or with a skill check.
Okay.
Help!
Rolls
All
are
right.
free.
So with a 3, that'll do it. So yeah, help! And you see some guy come running down the alley. From the way from the Waffle House side, and he goes, "Oh my God, what happened here? Oh Jesus! Hey, call 911. This cop's unconscious, and there's a weird naked guy. What the hell's going on? What happened? What happened, John? Or he doesn't know, John. What happened? I don't know.
How the fuck do you know my name?
Cop and and John just spouts off some absolute gibberish at this guy.
John, control yourself, John. What I want you to do is pull the gun on him and tell him to get in the fucking effigy. Tell him the Stag King demands he gets in the effigy.
Yeah, roll that, and you'll have a skill advantage on that. Get in the fucking get in there! Right there! Holy shit, man! All right, cool. It's cool. And he kind of steps into he's like standing with the pallets all around him. Like, what? Come on, it's okay, man. There's probably more cops on the way.
All right, so my skill check on convincing him to get in the effigy was a natural one.
Yeah, so nope. So in that case, it kind of fit. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I guess John, in his enthusiasm to stand up and scream about the Stag King, fumbles his gun, drops it on the floor. I don't know. Maybe shoots the effigy in the effigy's dick.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, John fumbles the gun, and the guy takes that opportunity to run away, screaming for police, help, somebody, please help. There's a crazy naked guy.
You've disappointed the Stag King.
I'm sorry.
But we can come back.
And about that
we're still nude. It's fine. It's okay.
You do feel so. Go ahead and roll for bid for control. You do hear a few groans start to come from the police officer lying on the ground, bleeding out profusely out of his face. All right, Drew, it's all yours. There is a mostly unconscious police officer on the ground. It seems like he may be regaining consciousness.
Well, that would be just so inconvenient because I feel like if he's awake, he's going to struggle, and that could cause problems. So I'm gonna tell John to gently lower himself down and wrap his fingers around the policeman's neck.
There's a perfectly good effigy you could trap him in.
And with the utmost care to that precious, precious jawline, choke him back into deep unconsciousness.
John, he's on all fours now. You can pretend he's a baby goat.
I mean, I guess that's a skill check.
Yes, that would be a skill check. All right, yeah. He's only semi-conscious, so it's pretty easy to choke him. It's like choking someone in there. He kind of twitches and moves a little bit, and then he stops doing that.
I would like to take the opportunity to just go ahead and tell John that he should lower his head down, part the lips carefully with his fingers and pull them apart, and then caress the surface of each and every tooth with his tongue. One by one. Lick by lick.
Where's car keys, John?
All right.
Can I count? This is why I took that other skill for any sort of handling.
I don't know about. I don't know if licking is really part of that profession.
I mean, it's basically just holding someone down and pulling their lips apart while they're unconscious. I feel like the combination of my skills, if this isn't that, then what is
it? lying naked on top of somebody and spreading their lips. I mean, that's not, while they're unconscious. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sure, why not? I'll let you have it.
Too excited. Oh, too excited, John. John gets too excited, and in his eagerness, he grabs and he yanks on the lips. He just yanks on them, jerking the police officer back awake.
No, they're coming like, oh, the fuck! And he just bites down hard on John's thumb.
Rupture.
And drawing blood. And it kind of comes sputtering and like rolls over and it starts coughing. Oh boy! Oh no, this is not good. This is not good. And bid for control. All right, Bevan and Steve, roll it off.
Come on.
Nobody wanted
dice.
this bid.
Yeah, 1d6. Oh yeah,
man.
it's all you, Robert.
All right. We don't currently have the gun on us.
It's sitting on the ground over by the effigy.
All right. John will. John. This guy's waking up.
Yeah, I can see that.
Go.
You fucking bit me.
Go get the gun.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I'll let you roll that skilled, because it's slightly. I think it plays into a little bit to both of your skills.
Shit.
But not completely into one.
Not enough.
As it kind of fumbles over. Yeah. I can let you describe how he fails if you'd like.
Pulling his thumb away. The police officer's jaws clamp down harder, and John loses his thumb and is distracted.
Turns out to make it incredibly difficult to pick something up.
Yes. And
Oh, lucky thumb.
oh man.
My thumb! You son of a bitch!
Ask him where the nearest school is.
Priorities, John. Priorities.
And so John kind of crawls over and he's like groping at the gun, but not really sure how to try and pick it up with his newly dethumbed hand. And the cop sits up and he's like, hey, and like goes to like radio, like, well, officer down, 4597, bunch of code. And bid for control.
Hoo boy.
All right, Steve.
Okay, John. This police officer clearly needs help, and there's no one around. I think you can give him some help. So I just want you to very ignore the fact that your thumb is bleeding. That's fine. We can get back to that. And just approach the officer. He looks dazed. Ask him if he's okay.
All right, go ahead and
just
roll. I would think
try and
unskilled for that.
Just to try and reassure the officer that everything's okay and that, maybe he's a bit confused.
It's weird how he eats thumbs.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
Is that skill because of my persuasion?
Yeah, sure. Why not? We're playing pretty fast and loose tonight. I was like, yeah, officer, are you okay? You seem awfully confused. Is there anything I can do to help?
It's still an actual one. This is a naked man missing a thumb. That's fair enough. Yep.
Not only that's the same naked man that beat him unconscious not 5 minutes ago.
Look, he's been beaten with a deck into unconsciousness. He's not going to be fully compos mentis. He's going to take a little while to process that.
I got a feeling that's probably not going to make it into his report. So the cop looks unconvinced, and he kind of stands up and like reaches for his gun and realizes it isn't there. And kind of picks up his billy club and like looks at John, looks at the gun on the ground, looks back at John. Bid for control. All right, Rick.
All right, Johnny boy. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna get bamboozled of this copper. You're gonna walk up to him like you own the fucking place, and you're just gonna be like, "Out of the way, copper, because I got the photos." And then you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna walk back into that Waffle House, and you're gonna sit your arse down, and you're gonna order yourself a pork roll sandwich.
All right, go ahead and roll me an unskilled check, and we'll see how
It is Waffle
how this works
House.
Needless to say.
It's a natural one, yeah.
You call that convincing, you stupid bloody bastard?
So John goes, "Get out of my way, copper!" And then the cop just whacks straight across the temple with the billy club, and John goes down and loses consciousness. When he's coming to, he is handcuffed and in the back of a police car that is driving down the road. And bid for control. All right, Robert.
Oh no. Oh no.
John, you gotta free yourself of these handcuffs. And I would like to use my other skill to just pull my hand right on out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you're missing a thumb now. That
Oh
should
yeah,
make it easier.
there we go.
Is your other skill fisting?
Yes.
No.
Fuck off, yes it is.
All right, I take it that's a skilled check.
That's definitely a skilled check.
Oh, nice. All right.
Oh yeah.
John rolls, or Father O'Malley rolls a 6.
So yeah, he just kind of wiggles and is able to pop his thumbless hand right out of the handcuffs.
All right, now I try the handle.
He kind of John looks around. I don't there aren't any handles in here. It's the back of a cop car.
Are there any schools around?
Yeah, as luck would have it, you are driving past a middle school that's getting out.
Oh,
right
Jesus!
Now.
All right,
So
John.
the cops kind of
Now's the
stuck in
time,
traffic.
John. All right, I want to grab the cage between the front and back sheets and front and back seats and start shaking. Shake the cage, John.
Okay, sure. To what end?
To get them to see that I no longer have handcuffs and that I'm I don't know, I'll drool or foam at the mouth or something, and get them to stop the car and try to re-handcuff me.
Ah, yeah. All right, acting crazy. You should have.
Acting.
Should be able to pull this one off.
I feel like that should be skilled no matter what our skills are.
yeah. That is a skilled check.
All right.
Yes.
Nice.
All right. As we're gonna get out of here. Like, oh, holy fuck, God, fucking guy. And the cop kind of pulls over, fucking pulls his or pulls his taser out. Actually, this guy's fucking nuts. He's all kinds of worried about you. And he comes around and opens the door, and he's just gonna go to fucking tase you.
Okay, well, I would like to use my skill number 2 to shrug that off and run into the school.
Okay, he's just gonna let him tase you, and he's fucking like, nope.
He's gonna take it.
That's the plan.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a skill check for sure. Yeah, you got that.
All right, John, we're recharged.
This is John. Just like, he's getting like electrocuted. He just kind of like reaches up and like grabs the cop. No! Just runs butt naked, bleeding from his hand. Children are screaming and running in every direction. Parents are covering the eyes of their children. It's a horrifying sight. This will be on the evening news.
Well,
As
John,
you run into
well,
the school.
before I get in the school, I mean, I figure, John, there's the children are getting out now. There's no point in going inside the school. Just do it here. Here's where
Just
your
right
audience
there
is.
in front of the school.
Yeah.
Yeah, in front of everybody. All right.
Oh, come on, Johnny boy. There's bound to be a few frogs in science class.
So I guess the question is, you going left-handed?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
Because you got no thumb on the other side.
I'll use both hands. You know, the blood can like lube and stuff.
Christ, that's grim.
Oh.
There you go.
Any port in the store?
Yeah.
All right.
Just massage that right into your balls as
There
you
you
go for
go.
it.
There you go, John.
Yeah, hit it hard.
I take it that's a skilled check.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
Oh goddamn! Yeah, you were just. But like as you finish, you just get fucking absolutely tackled to the ground by the cop. But you do. I mean, you just. It gets on the shoe of some poor girl running by. John's voice is probably going to end up in her head someday.
John, I think her shoes were made of leather, John. That's almost as good as a cow.
I can smell it. I can smell it.
We got more work to do, John. Don't give up now.
All right. Yeah, you are currently being like held to the ground by a cop who's attempting to refasten your handcuffs.
All right. I want to fight him off.
Johnny boy, you missed a perfectly good beat 'em off joke there.
I'd like to whack him off of me. I guess that's probably unskilled.
Yeah, that would be unskilled. Yeah.
All right. Hope for the best, John. Nope.
Oh, and a 2 will not do it. So yeah, no, he's pissed. He's pissed. You beat him up. You beat him with your dick. You tried to choke him. Put your fingers in his mouth.
Yes,
You busted out.
every right to be angry.
This is the same cop.
I want my thumb back.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
That's police brutality.
He is not putting up with your bullshit. He's putting handcuffs on you and whacking you in the back of the head.
I'm being oppressed.
So it takes an online video.
Oh, there are at least a dozen teenagers filming this right now.
The police just beating the shit out of this naked man with a thumb missing.
Yeah, no, you hear at least 2 people in the background shout, "World Star!" while this is going on. So he drags you back into the car and bid for control.
All I want for Christmas.
All right, Steve, it's all you.
Oh,
Damn.
God, I just remembered. What are cops called? Pigs, you bloody fool. Perfect opportunity right there.
I love their little curly tails.
Okay,
They're oh so fuckable snouts.
Johnny, we're running out of options here, and I think, we've been in hairy situations before, and sometimes it's best just to absolutely chillax. So what I want you to do is fake having a heart attack, Johnny. I want you to fake having a heart attack and just fake that you're dead. Can you do that for me, Johnny?
And Johnny, don't forget that dog was kind of hairy.
Now, we don't need a boner right now, Johnny. We're pretending we're dead.
Blood flow needs to stop, not increase here. Okay. Oh, my arm, it hurts. I think I'm having a heart attack, officer. And go ahead and roll with skill.
I can't see this officer giving one single shit.
Well, there's a bunch of people around. That might be all that's safe.
Rolls a 4.
Yeah. He's kind of pulling off from the school. I'm dying. I'm dying. And the officer's looking back and be like, well, good. That makes this a lot easier for the both of us. And he just keeps driving. And I presume is John. So John's just gonna pretend he's dead. So the officer keeps driving on, and it's going to be more than 10 minutes. Unless you want to tell him to do something else, control is going to shift because he's just going to lie there and pretend to be dead for a while.
I don't know what else we can do. Johnny, shit yourself.
When in doubt, Klaus it out.
All right, yeah. I think that'll be an unskilled roll, though. I don't think, not quite in your skill set.
Oh, fuck, one off.
Johnny, here you sit, broken-hearted. Tried that shit, only farted.
Yeah, he just lets out just it's a pretty good solid fart, but no shit comes out.
Fart of a dying man, perhaps.
Yes, yeah. The officer's, you son of a bitch! God damn it! He rolls down the front windows and God, and keeps on driving. And so, bid for control.
You needed a shit for the rear windows.
I mean, he couldn't see the shit anyway. It was a good fart. He's not entirely convinced you didn't shit.
That's a victory of sorts.
Yeah.
It's ruined his upholstery, if nothing else.
It kind of sounded like the mating call of a moose to me.
We've definitely ruined his day, if nothing else.
All right, so go ahead and bid for control, and you guys can choose whether to. Whoever gets control can choose whether to act immediately or to wait to take control until he stops the police car somewhere. All right, Drew.
Okay, I would like to. You said we can pick when we take control. I'd like to do it when we are being pulled out of the car.
Okay, yeah. So it kind of pulls the car over. You hear you can kind of hear the sounds of a river or a harbor. It kind of smells moist outside. Kind of drags you out of the car, and it looks like he's dragging you towards like a harbor or something to toss your body in.
Okay, I am going to go ahead and do a forehead smash directly into his mouth / face.
Brutal.
All right, that's a skilled check for you. Go for it. Oh yeah, that'll do it. Yeah.
Do I successfully knock him unconscious and or distracted? I guess. Oh wait, I get to describe this. Never mind.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. This is all you.
All right, John. John, we can't let this happen. We can't let those teeth get away from us, John. Don't drive your fucking head into his mouth. And John does as he is commanded and smashes his head directly into the guy's nose mouth area, bloodying it and sending him into a dizziness and perhaps unconsciousness? I don't know. That's up to you.
Now go find yourself a harbor seal.
Yeah, I mean, you succeeded by 5, so yeah, you could totally. Yeah, he's unconscious. You can knock him back out. He's taken a number of blows to the head today. He's in a bit of a delicate place.
Okay, now how many, if any, of his teeth got knocked loose?
We'll say there's 3 that are the front 2, and then one of the ones next to it are loose. They're not out of his mouth yet, but they are folded back.
Okay. With one hand, John, pick up the gun, and with the other, tear out his teeth. Oh, just grip him, and pinch, and tug. So yeah, I'm gonna try and grab the gun and rip out his teeth.
All right, are you ripping out the teeth with the gun, or are you just like putting the gun to his head in case he comes back to consciousness?
Yeah, I'm learning from my last mistake.
Yeah.
Putting the gun to his head in case he wakes up in the course of this. All right. I'm assuming this one is going to be skilled.
This is definitely skilled. Yeah, I'm gonna take those teeth. Here they come.
Ha! Success.
Oh yeah, he's just plop plop plop. Yeah, just yanking him out, and then he takes the gun and whacks him a couple more times and pulls a couple more out.
Put the teeth in your mouth, John. Put the teeth in your mouth. Put them somewhere safe.
Oh God.
Now we can't have him follow us, John. We can't have him follow us. He'll want his teeth back, and that's not gonna happen. So we're gonna have to stop him, John. We're gonna have to make sure he doesn't follow us, John. So what I want you to go ahead and do is just kick out the knees, John. He's on the ground. Just snap him, and he won't be running after us. We gotta protect those teeth.
All right, go ahead and.
All right, I'm out of will points though, so I'm rolling this one raw. Here goes nothing. All right.
Well, that's enough. That's enough to break an unconscious man's legs.
Okay.
Bloody bastards! I'm slinking off to your subconscious. If you had any sense, boyo, you'd jump in that harbor and find yourself a nice trout.
This might be a good place to call the game. I feel like we're kind of getting away. No one knows where we are, and no one can chase us.
Yeah. John, while sucking on those delicious teeth, kind of hops back in the police car and kind of puts it in reverse, runs over the cop a couple times, and just heads off to the sunset, ready for his next adventure.
Woo! That was Everyone is John, a game that you can play by just Google it. It's very easy to find.
All right, and the final point score is Rick got 2 points. So did Steve. Bevan pulled off 6, and Drew got 13 with the by achieving his level 3 goal there of stealing a police officer's teeth.
Yeah, let's go through what was everybody's
teeth.
goals, because I think it will be fun to know and put that down.
My level 1 goal was removing my pants in public, which apparently linked up with Steve.
You got that.
Level 2 was I wanted to steal somebody's animals, which I didn't quite do. And level 3 was I wanted to fuck animals.
which you almost did.
Yeah,
Yes, almost.
you got so close to both of those.
Yeah. So Bevan, what were your goals?
First one, jerking off in public. Second, jerking off in a school. And my third might have been a little too ambitious. Jerking off during a live White House press conference.
That is ambitious.
You can't fault the ambition.
Steve.
My level 1 skill was public nudity, which I thought was quite reasonable. Level 2 skill was licking someone's eyeball. And level 3 obsession was burning someone alive in a wooden effigy. And it's also worth noting that one of my skills was building a wooden effigy. So I came prepared.
You jumped the gun and went for your level 3 goal first.
Oh yeah. Go big or go home.
Hey, you got to say that you probably could have licked that cop's eyeball.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to get close to him. There was a lot of kind of eyeball licking moments I was trying to create there.
You gotta be aggressive when you're a licker. So my level 1 obsession was touching someone else's teeth. My level 2 obsession was licking someone else's teeth. And my level 3 obsession was stealing someone else's teeth.
Stealing teeth. I'm a bit disappointed I didn't get to burn someone in that effigy. But I'm pretty stoked I actually got to build it. So, nearly.
Oh, that was a lot of fun. Special thanks to Ben Robinson. Ben, why don't you plug some shit, man?
Yeah, I've got, like I said, my buddy John Williams and I will be soon releasing a podcast called Geek Exploration, the podcast. In it, we got a very unique podcast template for part of it, where it's two guys talking about things. I don't think anyone's done that before.
Nice.
So yeah, we're really blazing a trail there, but we're also going to be doing some stuff where where we do things that neither of us have ever done before, and kind of comment before and afterwards, kind of what our expectations were, take some audio when we're doing it, and then kind of meet back and kind of what our thoughts were on it.
Jerking off in a school.
Yeah. I'm not going to say I haven't done that before, but and then like once we get some listeners, we'll actually the idea is we'll take listener suggestions for what kind of things we can do, and just kind of see where that leads us. Also we've got a comic book that we're working on called Space Oddities, about some deep space antique dealers and the hijinks they get into, that we are currently working on. You can follow progress on John Williams' Instagram if you want. He posts pictures of the pages kind of as he's doing them. We're working on the first issue right now at Beefy McStudley on Instagram.
I'm gonna guess this is not the Star Wars composer.
That
It is not.
would be so much funnier if it was just John Williams just doing a thing.
Beefy McStudley.
What's famous composer John Williams up to today? Well, he's talking about jerking off in schools.
I mean, if it helps people reach the podcast and the comic, yes, it is in fact famous composer John Williams.
Well, thank you again, Ben. We'll have to have you back on if we get to play another round of these.
Anytime.
And listeners, if you liked this one, let us know. SideQuest is really kind of open, fluid, and experimental on what content is. So if there's something we do that you especially enjoy, make sure you let us know, because that's how we are aware to keep scheduling it on and trying more stuff like it. One more time, thanks to Ben Robinson. And, of course, I have been Drew Hayes with Robert Bevan, Rick Gualtieri, and Steve Weatherall. And we will see you on the next episode of Authors and Dragons. Bye.
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 See ya.